get a task put on your desk at work and you can't believe it's actually happening? Yeah, this is one of those.
Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here, and welcome back to Culture Shock. We break down your favorite video games and anime and discover the culture that inspired them. And today we're going to be covering a topic that a lot of you guys have been asking for that, honestly, I can't believe exists. The cultural origin of Smash Ultimate's new omnipotent villain, Galeem. The six-winged mass of light and energy that not only wiped out the entire gaming universe, but also birthed some of the most rapid memes I've ever seen.
Bobby, open the door!
Okay, for clarification, the big thing that seems to be on a lot of people's minds is this bizarre connection between Smash Ultimate's Galeem and one of the most esoteric Judeo-angels ever, the Seraph. We've seen message board after message board of people crafting their own theories, but we wanted to throw in our hats to the fray as well. But before we get started, a few things. First of all, this connection is definitely not wholly our own. We just want to expand on it. In fact, we didn't even really think about this connection until a lot of you guys reached out asking us to discuss it. And two, please take this video for what it is, a study of written religious texts and nothing more. Cool? Also, unlike a lot of entitled selfish people who have no patience, we are not spoiling anything with the story because, well, we just don't know. This is all based only on what we've seen in trailers so far. Okay, so, Galeem and Seraphim. The surface connections here are actually pretty simple. First and foremost, dim wings. Galeem appears to be a core of energy and light surrounded by what looks like 3 pairs of geometric luminescent wings. As for Seraphim, they're described as having 6 wings of their own, 2 to cover their face, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 to fly with. But that isn't the only thing that potentially relates Galeem to Seraphim. The other argued connection linking the two together is that both also have an exceptionally close association with light. In the case of Galeem, light is not only manifested in its body, its core, and even its freaking name, but the entire world it creates in the wake of the original's obliteration is called the World of Light, which is created by a freaking black hole photon supernova. Whereas angels, generally speaking, are often biblically linked with extreme holy light. Case in point comes directly from the Bible at Luke chapter 2 verse 8 through 11. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all people. Today, in the city of David, a Savior has been born unto you." Happy holidays, folks. That's as close as we're getting into that fray.
Christmas parallels aside, it proves the point that angels, generally speaking, have a close association with light. And given these two facts, it makes sense that so many people are coming together saying that these two are one and the same. But I'm personally not so sure. Because obliterating the world with a bombardment of light, capturing the souls of its residents, and forming clones of them for spirits to inhabit? Yeah, in all the religious texts that I dug into, none of them came even close to doing something so malicious. In fact, Seraphim, at least based on what limited religious texts we have on them, are pretty basic. Based on the Old Testament, which is shared by both Christianity and Judaism, in a vision, the prophet Isaiah was said to have bore witness to several seraphim present above the throne of God shouting, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, the whole earth is full of his glory." Upon seeing this, Isaiah freaked out, exclaiming, "Woe is me, for I am ruined, because I am a man of unclean lips." Not literally, of course, as this is a reference to mankind's sinful nature. But the response of a singular seraph was pretty literal. For it came down with a hot coal taken from an altar, pressed it to Isaiah's lips and said, "Behold, this has touched your lips, and your antiquity is taken away and your sin is forgiven." And that's it. Like, that's literally it. It's heavily speculated that the whole existence of a seraph is to fly around praising God and not much else. Compare that to Galeem, who's literally taken over the entire gaming universe, and we're looking at completely polar opposite motives. Complete obedience versus complete subjugation.
Not to mention that in the same passage, Isaiah stated that the Seraphim were beings of 6 wings. 2 that covered their face, 2 that covered their feet, and flew around with the final 2. Galeem, on the other hand? Yeah, we're kinda missing some of those prerequisites. I mean, Galeem kinda looks like it would be covering its feet if it had any, but
Honestly, the only even vague connection I can find here is the Seraphim's use of a hot coal to purify Isaiah, and Galeem using those big old beams of light to basically disintegrate and rebuild a new, better world? As if the world these characters lived in was spoiled or evil? Yeah, see, this is why I'm tripping like mad to find some of the connection between Galeem and Seraphim, because I don't think it's there.
Well, maybe the inspiration comes from a different source. I mean, I seriously doubt that Sakurai and his team went digging through the Bible or even the Torah or the Quran looking for ideas, because those aren't the only books that built up lore behind the angels. Heck, the Middle Ages did a lot of theological theory crafting when it came to the heavenly hosts. According to 5th century Christian theologian Pseudo-Dionysius the Areopagite in his book The Celestial Hierarchy, the Seraphim did more than just fly around chanting. Rather, they essentially helped God keep perfect order. To quote the book, the name Seraphim clearly indicated their ceaseless and eternal revolution about divine principles. Their heat and their keenness, their exuberance of their intense perpetual tireless activity, and their alleviative and energetic assimilation of those below, kindling them and firing them to their own heat, and wholly purifying them by a burning and all-consuming flame, and by the unhidden, unquenchable, changeless, radiant, and enlightening power dispelling and destroying the shadows of darkness. I mean, come on with that! Assimilation of those below, kindling them and firing them, an unhidden, unquenchable, radiant power? Is that not what we just saw in the Smash trailer as the seraph-like Galeem just radiated the universe out of existence in favor of his world of light? A seemingly homogenized world?
Yeah, this might be taking coal to the lips a little to the extreme, but it is possible Sakurai and company built Galeem as a seraphim in this context. I mean, Japanese games in general have always had a very, very long history with taking angelic and religious figures in games and twisting them into malevolent villains. Final Fantasy, Chrono Cross, Xenogears, Xenoblade, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona. If it's not organized religion in general, it's straight up angels and God himself that makes up the game's big baddies. With the central focus of these organized religions and deities being the tool of total domination of the lives of average everyday people. Which, when you think about the history of Orthodox religion, yeah, I can kinda understand that. In a similar case, Galeem might be the heavenly presence trying to force its will on various characters that make up both the roster of this game and the spirits that you liberate from these clones. But there's one other theory kicking around, one that honestly might make more sense than Galeem being a stereotypical seraph.
Oh? And what in the world else could Galeem be?
Satan.
What?
Based on biblical text, Satan isn't the red-skinned, goat-hoof, pitchfork-wielding devil popular media makes him out to be. In biblical context, he's a fallen angel. And not only is he a fallen angel, he is an angel that is constantly associated with radiant light. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 12, which gives allusion to the fall of Satan, states, "How you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of dawn! How you are cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low." The funny thing here is not only is this passage calling Lucifer the son of dawn, but the name Lucifer, to whom we attribute as another of Satan's names, is derived from Latin, lux meaning light and fere meaning to bring, a literal bringer of light. And then we have Galeem, whose name in every single language is related back to light. A trivial connection, I know, but that doesn't even scratch the surface. Continuing the passage in Isaiah from verse 13 on states, "You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned in the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. But you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit." Biblically speaking, that's always been Satan's desire, to become God.
Holy crap, that's what Galeem's attempting to do. Invading the world of Smash of all these characters, laying waste to it, recreating it to Galeem's specifications in this world of light, corrupting the denizens into evil counterparts of what they once were, and where is Galeem sitting in the overworld map? Literally above the clouds, only to inevitably be taken down by the Smashcast, probably to Galeem's own end. Oh my gosh, it's trying to be the god of this world.
And that's not even mentioning what Galeem's doing to the cast. Either creating evil versions of, or even more likely corrupting the denizens of the Smash universe, considering that you unlock these characters after beating them. And how is Galeem doing it? With light. And yeah, even this has a possible biblical reference in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14 and 15. Even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it is no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness.
Man, that's not a bad theory. But that's under the assumption that Sakurai and his development team really did go through that deep into biblical concepts. And honestly, do you really think they did?
I have no idea. But this is why there are so many people speculating who Galeem is and why it's doing what it's doing. There's so much vagueness in what we see in the trailer, yet so many possibilities to what this symbolism means. The beams of light, the master hands, Galeem itself, the capturing and corrupting of the Smashcast. It's just fun to think about. But that's only one theory based on biblical text, which really, that's only one piece of this pie. We didn't even cover that much in the way of Judaism or even Islamic texts on the Seraphim at all. So how about it, guys? Based on what you know, what is Galeem? A seraph? The devil? A heavy-handed symbolism to get us arguing about this on message boards till December 7th? I want to know your theories, so be sure to leave them below, and thanks for watching, everyone. I promise next video isn't going to be nearly this culturally complex, but if you like that kind of thing, be sure to check out some of my other episodes breaking down the culture of other great games like Pokemon and God of War. And be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our newest videos, and don't forget, be sure to check out our streams at twitch.tv/Gaijin Goombah, where we break down culture and gaming live. But until next time, everyone, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.